Well, hello, shell buddies. Welcome back once again to the channel as we continue on with the Finn Finds 5 series. 5 beaches, 2 days. Incredible shelling after Winter Storm Finn came through and deposited shells basically up the beach from what looks to be 10,000 islands all the way to north of Tampa and St. Pete to Anclote. There's just pictures and footage, and people have been posting the most insane things. The shelling has been absolutely unbelievable. Today is stop number 2, the second beach that we hit on Thursday the 11th, which would be Longboat Key. There's quite a bit of stretch of beach to watch, and you're going to see as we hit Broadway access, we are going to turn left. We're going to go south toward a property with an extremely big seawall that juts out, and there was a pile of shells down there along with some other really great finds. Let's jump in and take a look. Don't mind me being all bundled up while I do this part of the video. It's pretty cold today, so just sitting back here in my little workroom trying to stay warm. Looking at the maps here. Lido Key is situated like right here, and then Longboat is like this, like right above it. So when we leave Lido Key Beach and head up to Longboat, one of the first places that we stopped was this little teeny tiny little park right there on the very bottom of Longboat Key. It's right before a bridge. When you cross over that bridge, there's a light. Turn left at that light, and that takes you to Mott Aquarium, actually. So we're at this very first beach that we visit. We're only here a couple of minutes, but I find a first ever shell for me on this little tiny beach. Now we are on the very, very bottom of Longboat, looking at the top of Lido Key. We stopped because we saw a little barge over here, thought maybe they were dredging, and this beach has gotten bigger. There's more sand on it than there used to be, and there's a new sandbar out there in the middle that was not there before. And wow, yeah, this has changed drastically since the last time I was here. This is crazy. I figured just poke around for a couple minutes, see if there's anything on this beach. Now, because this is the bay, of course, everything has kind of a layer of bay yuck, I guess I would call it. The algae and things like that. Oh boy. Hey. That is my first ever local Rose Petal Tellin. Ho ho ho! This has been a marvelous day at first so far. Oh man, totally made it worth it just to stop here for a minute. That's so cool. Fabulous, fabulous little Rose Petal Tellin. What else have we got here? Nice little broad rib cardita. Piece of a rough scallop. Kind of cool orange jingle. That's sort of neat. So I mean, I don't know what I was really expecting to see here, but I wasn't expecting to see this many changes. In the past, I have found tulips here. Oh, today I'm gonna find jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. I bet they're alive. That guy is. Oh, that one too. He's eating on something. And that one is too. So yeah, there's tulips here, but they're not done with their shells.
This one is.
There's 2 or 3 more in front of us.
This one is.
Did you find an empty one?
And this one is too.
Oh, right. Knew there'd be tulips here. Let's take a look. They're mucky and yucky, but don't let that worry you, because that will totally clean. So sometimes we find funny different things over here on the bay than we do on the beach proper. It's always fun to take a look, see if there's anything worth grabbing. Babe, is that beach glass over there, that blue, or is it plastic?
That's a dish.
A piece of a dish?
Yep.
We should pick it up and take it off the beach. water feels colder over here than it did at the ocean. And it is a piece of ceramic, yep. This one here.
That was pretty big.
Yeah, he's got a big
old.
gouge hole in him.
Yeah, he's old. But no, there's another one back there.
There's big chunks of those clams here too, those fossil clams. Smashed to smithereens, but it was worth stopping just for me to get my first Rose Petal Tellin, babe.
I didn't know you never had got one.
No, not
You had one.
not from around here at all, no. We don't find them here very often. Usually more of a south of us kind of a thing. Alright, this is sketchy and slippery. And I'm not seeing a lot shell-wise.
There's a tulip over here. It's just kind of in the muck. It may be rough, but it's empty.
Throw it in the bag. We'll bleach that too. I got a video on cleaning up the really nasty ones coming up, so we'll use it for that. Alright, well, it was worth peeking because we got a couple of cool things, including some tulips and that nice Rose Petal Tellin. Oh my gosh, erosion wise though, look how bad this has gotten, John. That wall used to be right here. So look at how much of the beach is missing. And it's torn into the edge. I mean, it's eroding this out. There's not rock and rubble and other stuff put over here to keep it in place. Yeah, look at the fossils in it too. It's all kinds of old stuff that's washing out of this. Look at these ginormous clams, these big fossil quahogs. Wow. Some of them are huge. Crazy. Look at the size of that guy. Right, I'm gonna take him just because he's old and cool. That's cement almost in there. It's in there, so it's so tough. And I'm gonna show you the side of this so you can see in and among all of this stuff there's shells, right? Look at this guy. Let me just take that one right out of the wall. A little itty bitty tiny whelk. How cool is that? So not a place you would expect necessarily to find shells, but definitely shells in it. And when the waves batter this, things that are in there erode out and end up on the beach. There's a fighting conchs in there. Look where they're washing out of, John.
Yep.
Right in there. There's something over here I want to peek at. Yes, could you hold on to it for me for a second?
There's a busted whelk.
I want to see what this is. Old surf clam. That's cool. So yeah, some weird different stuff eroding out of the bank without any kind of rubble or rock protection, and even with the roots holding it together, this is still being battered as well. Okay, next adventure stop. Longboat Key. We haven't been to Longboat since, oh gosh, it's been before Adalia. Not to this spot. To this spot, it's been maybe since maybe Ian. Yeah, so it's been a while since we've been here. I mix this name up on this place all the time. It's Broadway Beach Access on Longboat Key. Maybe 3/4 of a mile or so north of where we find all the shells over at Gulfside Drive, where it's all been torn up. The Gulfside Drive access, things have been pretty damaged over there, and shelling hasn't really been worthwhile. So we are above where that access point is, approaching from where we were at Gulfside Drive. There's a couple places where these big seawalls jut out, and we can't really go further up than that. Today we are above that, and we're going to head down toward that big giant seawall. and see if any shells piled up there, because when we get a northwest flow, sometimes that happens. So we're gonna go and see if there's a pile of shells or if they're all scattered. Let's see what we see here out at Longboat above Gulfside Drive. Now, since I haven't been here in a while, I'm imagining there's gonna be a lot of changes.
We have no clue.
Look at how much of the stuff washed out from under the...
I know.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was never that high.
Sand just got flowed right on in here. Look at all this brand new sand up here. Okay, well, they're still doing grass. That's good news. But I'm betting the beach is a little rearranged. Sky's getting kind of dark. We might be getting rain shortly. We may not be able to be here long. And where we want to go is a little bit of a walk. I see rocks that used to be covered by sand after the last dredging, where everything was pumped onto this beach. So those rocks have once again been exposed over there. It seems that this section of island fared a little bit better than Gulfside Drive section did. But I can tell that a lot of dune is gone too. This beach has gotten wider and flatter for sure. Now we're a little ways past low tide now. Tide is on the way back up for mid-tide. It'll hang out there for a while. So we have time, as long as we don't get rained out, to sort of check this beach out too. Hey John, come here for a second. All right, remember when we came for the bioluminescent thing? And we went on that long concrete boardwalk? All right, so that's that concrete boardwalk up there in the distance. And we were able to sit on the end and walk a few feet and get to the water at what, mid-tide? So there's an extra bunch of sand piled up there, and that's been flattened out here. We have new sandbar activity kind of right here further offshore. And this has been kind of flattened. Gosh. I don't know what that is. Let's take a look. It looks like a piece of turtle egg. Hatched out turtle egg. Yeah, weird rack line, not a ton of shells. Huh. What you got, babe? Spiny jewel box?
Yeah. Pretty spiky.
Oh, it is a nice one. Yeah. Nice little spiny jewel box. I like those big spikes. Alright, now where we are, we don't usually find a ton of stuff anyway. There's usually not a lot of shells right here. A lot of kitten's paws today.
Yeah.
Old looking and discolored arcs, crossbars, seaweed and pieces of sponge all over. Oh, there's a nice spiny. Flipped upside down. There we go. Nice pink color on the inside. Lovely pink and purple. Beautiful. So yeah, a little further down we usually find shells, and then toward the end I'm hoping there's a pile. We shall see. But normally right where we are, we don't find a ton of stuff anyway. Usually where we find stuff is, see where that little outcropping with the seaweed is? And there's a second one further past where that person's walking. That's where I usually start finding stuff. Look at the size of that tuna kit. That's the seaport kind. Wow, that's a big chunk. It feels like cartilage, kind of. And this is a colony of critters. Kind of all massed together into one big living organism. Yeah, we'll just put them back by the water. Let them get a little wet. Tide's coming back in. Here you go, buddy. Buddies, I should say. Part of me wants to look in the water's edge, and part of me is like, no way. It's pretty windy out today. Kind of chilly. Got a wild beauty today, though. John's still walking down by the water, but I'm not seeing him bending over picking anything up. So, assuming maybe we'll do a little divide and conquer here, and I'll check this high rack, which have been last night's high water line. The storm rack is clearly past this because you can tell the dune just got washed right over, and I can see debris and all sorts of stuff back in the seagrass. So this got topped over and flattened out a little bit. A much wider buffer area here than there is on Gulfside Drive. But yeah, those dunes have taken a beating. I mean, you can see tufts of seagrass and all this other stuff that was growing up out of here is all just mangled and buried with sand. Now, I'm starting to see more stuff as I'm going along up here in the high rack. Oh wow, that's a cool jingle. That is a cool jingle shell. I like that. Well, and we have a cork up here. Wine cork. Old one. Alright, I'm back down by the water. And a lot of this kind of stuff is showing up. Broken sand dollars. Now typically, I've always had luck on Longboat finding sand dollars until Ian and Idalia rearranged things. Now sand dollars are showing up in different places. Further south of here, like Lido. Oh, look at that. Big old piece of a true tulip. Cut that down and use that. That's neat. That's what I like best after the storms, just the weirdness that you find. All the different stuff.
Piece of an angel one?
It's a piece of an enormous prickly cockle, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, little sand dollar and operculum. How sweet. Alright, a little peek of sunshine. And some rain stuff out in the Gulf. It's going to be making its way inland soon. Looks like a little bit might have already started coming along over there at St. Armand's and Lido. Wow, that is a nice simile. Look at that. White Atlantic simile, great size, and this is what I normally see in it, but I don't usually see this line. So this line is really beautiful. This is an older one, bigger one, really super cool find. White Atlantic simile. I do love these shells. That's a really nice one. Dang. Oh, John found a friend. Hey, little guy, let's warm him up. My hands are warm. Let's see if he wakes up a little bit and comes out and says hi. Look at his little eye stalks right there coming to look at us. Hi. Hi, little friend.
I love his color.
He is pretty. Are you cold, buddy? We'll warm you up.
I want to step back.
Oh, I'm already wet. It's okay. Well, not looking too feisty, but looking very curious. They'll wave around the little eye stalks at us. How awesome. Alright, hopefully I can get nice and close on this where it'll be in focus there. Hi.
Put you back in the water, dude.
That's so cute. Oh my goodness. Alright, little friend.
He moved out a little bit.
Alright, let's get him back down, I guess. But he was cute. Bye, buddy. Good luck. See you later. little calico clam. There you are. A little trouble with my camera staying where I put it here. There, let's try that. Hello, little calico clam. Got some fun, funky colors on that one. Neat. Starting to see a few different colors now, actually. Here's a nice yellow jingle shell and a prickly cockle. It's in great shape with that neon orange inside. Look at that. Wow. Nice purple. Nice.
Not horse conch, right? Piece.
Oh, that's a piece of a big horse conch. Holy smokes, a big boy. Wow. All right, so when you see pieces like that, there could be big ones around. There's a yellow prickly cockle. Nice. I think John just found another fighting conch. Is it a critter conch?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, little guy. And there's a little eye stalk sticking out there, too. Hello, little friend. I'll get you warmed up, too. It's chilly out here. You'd probably be warmer in the water. Hey, buddy, there you are. Hi. Does that feel better? Alright, let's give you some water. It's actually, the water feels warmer than the air. Oh my gosh, there is a lot of live ones here today.
3.
Wow. That's really pretty.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at the size of that moon by John. Wow.
Yes.
It is a piece, but I love the colors on that. I love that dark chocolate inside. That, oh yeah. I'll make something out of that for sure. That's beautiful. Yep.
Nothing to put them in.
Well, they seem to do okay in my bag. I don't have much in here, so.
They're the same size.
Will they fit in the container? They will. You got an olive?
Yeah, here.
You know, once upon a time before the dredging, I found all kinds of olives out here, but ever since they did that project, I don't. That is a nice little guy. He's pretty. Nice and pointy. Super glossy. That's a nice little fella. Alright, put him in the bag. Hey, there's a nice auger. Cool. Oh, and look at this clam. It's all crazy discolored. That's amazing. Oh, how pretty. I like that. Gorgeous. Oh, there's a really gorgeous cardita and a really nice scallop. Look at those. Big guy. Not kind of in the best shape, but huge. And then look at the color on that. Oh, he's broken too. That's alright, I'll cut it down because that color is really stunning. Oh boy. Sand dollar that John missed. Look at that. Nice. Lovely little sand dollar right there. Beauty. Oh, you got one too? That one will fit in the container, honey.
Okay.
Nice. So this is fun seeing sand dollars out here. Some really spiky, spiny jewel boxes too. Look at this guy. Look at how spiky. Oh, nice piece of coral too. That's awesome. Yeah, this is great. Look at that. Even these back ones here, these finer ones. Look at that. That's amazing. Ooh, look at that sand dollar, babe. He's kind of fun. Yeah. That's great. I don't think I'd bleach that. I think I'll leave it just like it is.
Absolutely.
That's sweet. Nice little sand dollar here. We just picked up a fossil corrugate jewel box. That's very cool. So yeah, we're seeing some different things here today. Some much different than the things we were finding on Lido for sure. Now there are rocks that we know, of course, just around this big place with the seawall here. The last time I came, I was on the other side of that place, and you can't see the other house with the other seawall that sticks out. So I was expecting there might be shells piled up against there. So we're gonna look. There's a bunch of stuff scattered around here.
Wow.
What'd you find?
A great
Oh,
spiky.
nice spiky, spiny jewel box. Nice spines on that guy. Look at the color too. Look at that right there, and how pretty inside. That's a nice one. All right, John's still by the water, but since we were finding shells at the water edge down here, I thought it might be worthwhile to come up here and look at this high rack line, because there's a bunch of stuff in here. A lot of it looks smashed up, but it also doesn't look like it's been very heavily shelled either. Oh, look at that crazy piece of moon snail. That's pretty cool. The old surf clam. Oh. Nice little worm snail piece in there. Take that guy. There's an auger in here. And there's a bazillion of these here, these kitten paws. They are all over the place today. Everywhere you look. Since there isn't very much lower on the beach, it was, you know, kind of worthwhile to come up here and look. Juvenile quahog with some real pretty coloring on it. Really like that. And that pink inside, that's gorgeous. Stop for a couple of these augers. These guys are nice. Here's one of my little purple mussels I like. The southern horse mussel. Really pretty nacre on the inside. Really gorgeous purple color. Beauty. Okay, so this is interesting. I can see a bunch of stuff piled up over there by that seawall. And I can see a pile of stuff washed up right here. Oh boy. There's a big old fossil from a boring turret snail. A predecessor to that guy. That's cool. And another baby sand dollar. So sweet. That's so cute. And look, there's a really buttery buttercup lucine. How pretty is that? Look at that yellow inside. It's almost orange. Gorgeous. There's an olive. Oh, that's a nice one. It feels like glass. Wow. Great little olive. Very nice. Finding anything, honey?
And olives.
Yeah? Cool. Oh gosh, there's one right by me. Well, he's missing a little bit of him where the keyhole is, but looks like he may have tried to repair himself, which I think is kind of very awesome. A little Pennsylvania lucine here with that ridge down the side. Quite surform, but feels nice and soft. I like it. So these little piles dot the whole way up to that seawall where I see a pile against the seawall. Look at that cutie. Oh, put it on that weight so it shows up better. How adorable is that? Nice. Alright, I'm going to look over here by the water. Since the water level is rising, and I will lose the chance to see what's over here, I'm going to look now. there's quite a pile up of stuff here. And I suspect there's layers, shells and sand and shells and sand. Look at that auger. Got a nice old fighting conch too, actually. Really nice auger shell there. Nice big guy. Ooh. There's most of a crown conch. That's a pretty outside piece. Good shadow box piece like that. This is cool. So this is where critters were crawling around after the water level is gone. Probably all kinds of little fun goodies in here. But live goodies. A lot of sand mixed with the shell. So we're on a substantial shell pile. It's hard to tell because we're only seeing pockets of it. But this whole thing that we're on is all shells. Sand layered over it in some areas, but yep, quite a bit. And wow, I can see their seawall, and they are missing a good 2 to 3 feet of sand behind their seawall too. Holy smokes. Look at the color on that auger. It's orange. Wow. Beautiful auger. Gorgeous color on that. Nice size too. There's a dark one over here, just for comparison. Fabulous. Got some pretties down here. Nice little auger here. And a calico clam. A fabulous little pink scallop shell right there. Another pretty one here. And yes, I'm not worried about the barnacles on that guy at all. There's another calico clam. Alright, so we're getting into better stuff now over here. Still a lot of broken pieces of big things. These big old fossil oysters like those guys right there. Just taking a look at what's here. A piece of a rough scallop there. Really pale. Very leaning albinistic almost. Prickly cockle there. We got some brighter friends here, certainly. Look at that crazy golden colored kitten paw. That's fun. Lots of calico clams, gosh. All over. Lots of arcs. Lots of scallops. Fun, 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 fun. So as you cross from one pile to the next, you can see where all this stuff is washed through with sand and sort of hidden a little bit by it, but it's there. It's definitely there. And you go a little further, the sand thins, and a bunch more shells show up. So it's gonna be like this from here to the seawall, and the seawall is where I'm heading. So I'm gonna sit down and paw through that pile. We're right over there. Came over here to look at the water's edge because it looked like it was a little chunkier than it has been. Getting rewarded for my efforts with an albino prickly cockle. Beautiful. And a sand dollar. Nice. And a little hinged spiny jewel box. Awesome. Some really fun finds right there. Here's what I see all over here. Stuff washed up against seaweed, piles up, sand piles on top of that. Wow, there's a lot in here. My, my, my. John has gotten to the pile. I'm gonna go join him. Alright, so it smells like seaweed because there's a bunch of it over here. Wow, look at that monster nutmeg. It's kind of broken, but ooh, that guy was a beast. There's a nice auger. Another interesting kind of a yellowish as opposed to the orange one that I found earlier, but that's really cool. There's so many calico clams in here, it's crazy. Like they're everywhere, all over the place. All different sizes and colors on them. Little surf clam there. Yeah, this is very chunky. There's pieces of tulip all over, pieces of whelk all over. So I think digging in this will be productive. I think there's a bunch of stuff in here. Another nice little auger there. Big lucine right here. And I'm just sitting, like, I haven't even moved. I'm just looking around at what's near me. Now, in the past, I've found some pretty cool stuff in this pile. Usually some murexes kicking around in here, and juvenile fighting conchs, and great scallops. Look at the color on that one. That's lovely with that yellow stripe up the middle. Pretty. Big fossil oyster pieces. Piece of a bryozoan colony. So yeah, there's some neat stuff here. My, that surf noise is something else. The waves are pounding against that seawall. And I can tell just looking down the edge that he's lost quite a bit of sand in there too. Cool worm snails in here. Just kind of poking around through this pile. Not really searching too hard, but nice auger. Nice auger. You found a murex?
Okay.
Ah, over here on the sidewall, somebody put a little murex up here. Right on. I found a cool piece of coral. What'd you find, honey? Oh, a little discolored baby fighting conch. He's cool. What other goodies are in here? I'm sure this is at least 1.5 foot thick, this shell pile. There's so much. Oh, that's a funky kitten. Oh, look at that one. That's cool. And a little baby nutmeg. Yay! Alright. He's not in great shape, but I'll take him. And John's got a little seraph here. Fun. I think this is a fossil spiny. Look at this guy.
Yep.
He's really old and big. He's cool. Oh, there's what's left of a tulip. Another nice auger. Put him with my spiny. I better put him in something big so I don't lose sight of it. With that arc. There we go. Another calico clam. Some fun colors. I mean, you could just take a day on this pile and just find all kinds of cool stuff. I've only been sitting here for about 5 minutes and picked up some neat things already. Look at the size of that seraph. Holy smokes.
Wow.
He's big. Wow. Nice. Pick up my little pile of stuff or I'm gonna lose it. There's an apple murex. A nice one. Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a beautiful one. Let's see what else is in this little pile. We're gonna strike out and head to Anna Maria here in a few minutes. Just want to see what other fun things I find in this little pile before we go, though. Pretty pale yellow. That one's nice. A couple more of those calico clams. There's a lot of those here. Oh, that's a shame. He would have been really pretty.
Another one.
There's a nice coral finger. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that neon orange on there. Cool coquina shell. And there's a little ribbed cantharus. It's beautiful. Oh, look how dark. That's nice.
Hey, here's the other piece to your crown comb.
Fun. Oh, look up here. I found that cute little marginella. Atlantic marginella shell.
Really?
That's a cool tiny. It'll go nicely with the little coffee bean melampus I found earlier. That one's going in the tiny jar. Look at these. Look at the color on this guy. The orange stripes. Wow. Beautiful. It's like a piece of an oyster. That's kind of fun.
Fossilized coral. So you dissected in half.
Oh, neat.
Also cool.
Cool. Little jingle?
Black jingle.
Oh, with a little baby foot really showing inside. That's the awesome one. Pieces of interesting stuff in here too. That's from a rock snail. The blown out Atlantic fat talon there. Yeah, I mean, we could probably spend hours in here. But we still want to make one more stop. So, I wanted to just kind of peruse this little pile for a second. Oh wow, that's pretty. Look at the color on this. It's a really nice piece of pen shell with that iridescent green and purple and blue. That's lovely. Ooh, what's that? That's from a fossil boring turret snail, an old one. Super neat. Now, where the fossils come from here, that's a great question. Some get washed out of people's landscaping. Others get washed out of the bottom or the limestone rocks that are offshore. There's just crazy stuff everywhere you look. But the seaweed stinks a little bit. Construction stuff washed around. And John just found another little sand dollar. All right. Yes, we did. Bunches of them. There's a huge pile of stuff to dig through right there too. Loads. Have you been to Lido today? Have you been to Lido? South Lido Beach?
Oh yeah, I live here.
South Lido Beach is phenomenal. We got a Junonia out there today.
Oh, you got a Junonia?
He found it, yep.
Nice score.
Yep. Oh wow, almost albino. Look. Oh, cool. Yeah, look at that. Just that hint of pink in there. That's pretty. All right, I'm gonna put them in your bag because I got the sand dollars. I won't break them. Let me see the olive. Oh, he's chubby. I like him. I saw a lucky limpet before you made me turn. Look, a lucky limpet. Yay. This one's nice. Oh, busted apple murex. He was nice too. Alright, well, we'll leave him here. Well, we're going to take that limpet because that limpet's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Here's another sand dollar. He's cool. Now he looks like the arrowhead kind, but I'm pretty sure it's the 5-hole keyhole, and it's just some little flaws there on the end, but that's a neat one though. I like him. Here's a white Atlantic slipper snail. I like these guys because they're thin and weird. And it's a white Atlantic slipper snail.
Oh.
Like a little teardrop. I don't know why I like those, I just do. Boy, smashed sand dollars all over. There's one that isn't smashed. Awesome. Nice turkey wing. Cool. There's a cute baby fighting conch right in front of you. You see him. Oh, nice color. A little orange on the tip. That's gorgeous. In the bag. Another sand dollar. Are you kidding me with the sand dollars today? And another juvie fighting conch. Well, he's broke though. That's a cute little piece of coral. That little discoloration on it, that's fun. An orangey yellow. Put it in the bag. Oh, look.
Another one.
Another baby sand dollar. Oh, how sweet. Ah, live apple murex on this hinged little arc shell. He's cool. Alright, buddy. Since you're eating and doing your thing, I'll leave you here. You're not far from the water and everything is still damp. Wow. Sand dollars at Longboat today. Loads of them. Another sand dollar. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Probably gotten a couple dozen today so far. A lot of small ones. Really? Another one? Awesome. Yeah. Longboat's been very good to us in that sand dollar department today. My gosh. So many. And for every one we picked up, we've probably seen 40 that were broken. I don't know if I got room in the tinies jar for any more of the littles. I'll try. Yeah, it's starting to rain. Maybe we aren't going to Anna Maria.
All of this coral.
Uh-huh.
I mean, sponges.
Yeah.
Reminds me of walking through the cow fields. That's what it looks like.
We're almost back to where we came on the beach. Another sand dollar for the collection. Man, what a fun day it's been down here. A little bit of different stuff. Not what we were expecting necessarily to find, but some really cool stuff. Crazy storm stuff gonna be rolling in here again soon, and it's starting to sprinkle on us now. Guess we'll have to do Anna Maria another day. Here is our table of goodies from our stops at the bottom and toward the top of Longboat Key. Quite a lot of fun things up here, so let's get on into it. Now, you remember us finding Jasmine. Jasmine's over here with a couple of pieces of glass. Now, it's easy to want to call everything beach glass, okay? And yes, the longer it's in there, the more surf-worn it is going to get, and the more frosted it's going to get. This is not beach glass, though, guys. It might be worn down a little, but really all this is garbage. This is just, you know, broken soda bottle, beer bottle, wine bottle, whatever you want to call it. But I wouldn't call it beach glass, and I'm not going to keep it. Now, Jasmine I'm going to keep because she's cute, and I'm going to turn her into some kind of weird little art project. I don't know what yet, but she's kind of fun. Now, another thing I want to show from down there. Remember those disgusting tulips that you couldn't see anything but green on them? All right, these have been in the bleach half the time everything else has because they were in a separate bag and I forgot to throw them in. So just in that half soak, they've cleaned up quite a little bit. Now, yeah, there's still a little crusty stuff or whatever on them. These guys are going to go back in the bleach for some more. And then maybe we'll visit them again in the future. But as you can see, all that algae and all that yucky stuff that was on them is definitely coming off. And the same for that cute little Rose Petal Tellin that I found. There's our little Rose Petal Tellin right here. Now this is the first Rose Petal Tellin I found locally, and also the first one that I found that was not broken. So I was really excited about that. That was a kind of a bucket list find for me. But you remember that green nasty yuck that was all around the edge? Bleach water took all of that off too. And again, half the time short soak, so that was kind of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and take those guys off the table, and then we'll talk about the rest. Next, I want to talk about this one. Oh, I was heartbroken when I opened up everything in the bleach water and looked at it. This was the one that I found on the beach that had all that really cool blue and dark gray discoloration. And I just thought it was low oxygen sediment discoloration from a shell that had been kicking around for a really long time. Look at that! The bleach took all of it out. All that really cool dark discoloration that I liked about this shell ended up bleaching out. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're bleaching them. So he's not pretty and he's not blue anymore, and he's not nearly as compelling looking. He's probably going to end up in the shell beds. Another cool little guy we found down there on the bottom end of things was this teeny tiny little whelk that I remember, if you remember, I plucked it right out of an erosion face under a bunch of dirt. So he had been washed up and covered over by dirt quite some time ago. He's probably an older little whelk and a very juvenile one. You can tell just by looking not only at the size, but how the shape of the top of it is, that little button kind of shape there on the top. Very common to see that little button shape on small whelks or small horse conchs. We see that often. So that was another little fun guy from down there at the bottom of the island, as was this beast. Look at the size of this guy. This is a giant fossil quahog, or its predecessor too, but I believe the species survived to modern and it's the same one. So this quahog was massive. Remember, it was all full of stuff that felt like cement in the back of it. A soak in the bleach water has gotten some of that out of there. There's also these weird nodules on the inside of the shell that I'm not used to finding on these guys, so we'll soak it a little longer and see if cleanup removes that. If not, there'll be some sort of pathology on the back of that fossil guy, but he's a beast. I mean, look at the size of him compared to my hand. A couple of other fossils that we found while we were out at Longboat as well include these fossil turrets. This is a fossil type of a worm snail and a fossil type of a coral. So we did find some really cool older stuff out there. This guy would be a very beat up strombus of some sort, as would this in the fighting conch family. And of course we had these really old spiny jewel boxes and this really old corrugate jewel box. Now if you looked at it just like that, it looked like a piece of coral. When I flip it over, you can tell that it's a shell, and that's where the hinge mechanism, the hinge and tooth mechanism are right up there at the top. So absolutely, little fossil corrugate jewel box. Got all kinds of stuff going on with him, but he's really neat. We also found that old surf clam in the same dirt with the tiny little whelk. So that was there too. And then for our main adventure over at the upper part of the island, you can see all the rest of these awesome things that we found. Some of this stuff was there. A couple of these things were at the bottom. Most of it was further up on the island when we were at the Broadway axis. We've got some nice coral. Cool old arc here. Big giant chunk of a heartbreak horse conch. That's one of my flower beds too, but gosh, would have liked to see the rest of him. Old true tulip piece that's going to get acid dip so we can see the rest of it. This nifty oyster. The little hinge guy attached to the other little hinge guy. I thought they were really cute. And of course we got a couple of nutmeg crown conch pieces. Got a piece of an apple murex there, and two actual apple murexes here. Some buttercup lucines, some olives, that broadrib cardita. Oh, and this is a fun worm snail to show. This is two worm snails that are hooked together. See the little small one there, and then the bigger piece over here? So I thought that was kind of cool. Here's those fun augers, including this nice orange one. And this one had this great peachy yellow color to it. And we got my little purple mussel that I like, the southern horse mussel. We got other little smalls, a tiny limpet, a button snail. This is a little, I thought this was a ribcanthus, but he's actually a little pointy. I think he's actually a drill. Striate bubble, and the eastern slipper snail there. And on that big giant seawall, when I looked at the top of it, I found an itty bitty little Atlantic marginella. That's this little fella right here. Like the coffee bean melampus, this guy does not get very big, so it's a very easy shell to miss and overlook. So I count these as a bit of a more rare find because I definitely don't find them all the time. So this little guy's a lot of fun. Here's those jingles we found, and I just wanted to show that. There's that little, what they call the baby's foot on the inside of it. See that? So that was a neat find too. We got these beautiful white Atlantic similes here. This is an older one, obviously you can tell because the size is so much bigger. This is typical of the size we find. This guy's a beast. And that beautiful dark ring in there. Oh, I love that. That is not typical or common. Maybe one of my more favorite finds out there. Here's our olive. I'll show those guys off. Cute little one. He's my favorite. This one, I'm not sure if this is what they call a Princess Venus or if it's a juvenile quahog. It reminds me of both of them. Usually quahogs don't have pink in them, they have purple. And the shape is closer to the regular quahog than to a Princess Venus. But, so that was a cool little mystery shell. I sort of like that. Then we had these really neat kitten's paws. This yellow one, which I thought that color was going to bleach out of it, honestly. Nope, not even close. Stayed yellow. This guy stayed orange. And then this one had all the small little crenellations in it. That was really neat. Here's our lucky limpet. Nice little selection of scallops. And some cute littles and some sort of prettier other ones. Tons of the calico clams out there that day. These were our nice fighting conchs that we did pick up. This one I like because it's got something weird and wonky about it too. Not just the color, but this right here. Some sort of pathology or repair mark, which gave it a different shape, which I thought was really neat. And then that big one that we found at the bottom of Longboat where we found jasmine and some of the other stuff. And our spiny jewel boxes, of course, some of them are really super spiky. Like this guy here. And he was kind of pretty. They all were fun, though. We have a nice selection of cockles here as well. I'm going to talk about those in a second. Over here we have an operculum. A little Welco operculum there. A purple tageless that's not purplish anymore. He's sort of bleached out in white, but we thought he was neat. And then look at the sand dollars. We ended up picking up 28 sand dollars and 29 actually, I think. This one disintegrated and this one broke in half. But the rest of them did pretty well and cleaned up marvelously. Look how great these came out. Now they've just run through the bleach water really quick just to get some of the blech off of them. But some of these guys with the discolorations in the center may actually go for a sit in some hydrogen peroxide actually to get the rest of that out of there. Now let's talk about these cockles for a second. Prickly cockles are a very common shell. They're not really anything people come down here just to get those or anything. Not like the whelks or the horse conchs. They're just one of those shells that's always there and you sort of take them for granted. But I picked up a few of these because the colors on them were fantastic. Now, when you find them, they're always a little brownish around these bottom parts because they kind of just nestle themselves into the muck a little bit on the bottom. So the outsides of them, not too exciting. But the insides, ooh, look at the colors on these. They were so pretty. Now, this is your normal prickly cockles, right? I'm going to flip a couple of these back over. Just wanted you to get a look at, the variety that these colors come in. You can also tell what the typical size is by looking at these guys. Look at that monster. He was huge and pretty inside. That pretty yellow spot, the pale purple. And when I throw this stuff through the acid and just scrape these a little with the drill, all this junk's going to come off of here, so no worries there. But that is a big, big prickly cockle. So I was kind of excited about that one. Now you also heard me mention albinistic and albino when we were on the beach too. Again, I'm going to flip these guys so you can see what their colors are usually like. Oh, this one was kind of special with that white and purple. I did like that. But there's our typical with that peach and the purple and kind of like a cranberry color. So that one is kind of the way he should be. He's just juvenile, so he's not stretched out very far yet. But look at these. Totally and completely different from these guys up here. These two would tend toward what we'd call albinistic. They're colored, but not full-on colored, like their regular counterparts here. From the outside, you can also tell a big difference. Look at the outside colors on these guys, the brown, a little yellowish tan. Yeah, look how pale these guys are. This one's barely got anything. His coloring on the outside is just like a light yellow almost. So he was very pale. And then this one is white. Translucent white. The absence of color, which is albinism. So other than the ones I found on Anna Maria after Idalia, this is one of the few that I've come up with since then. Fun to find these little albino and albinistic shells of the same type in where you find all the rest of these other guys. And on top of those, we also found some yellow prickly cockles. And one of them is a little bit unusual and mysterious to me as well. Alright, so you can see these have this beautiful yellow color on the outside. Some of them tend toward pinkish up here, the little speckles on them. Most of them are yellow inside, right? So what's the story with that? I mean, all the rest of these guys have this beautiful yellow on the inside that goes quite a ways into the shell, if not all the way up toward the top. This guy, his yellow stops at his ridge and the inside of him is white. Very different and really beautifully yellow on the outside too. So it's the same species of shell, it's the same kind. This one just expressed in a much different colorway, much like our little albino friends did. Now, I wouldn't call him albinistic by any stretch. He's got loads of color. It's just he's a little unusual on the inside. So I thought that was really neat and really pretty. I mean, as white as this one was on the outside, you'd have thought pale inside. Nope. He actually has more yellow color inside of him than that one does. So that was kind of cool to see. All in all, we had a very nice haul from Longboat, from both the bottom end and the upper area at Broadway Beach Access. Really fun time out there. Before we wrap up this video, I wanted to make a quick public service announcement for my friends over at the Sarasota Shell Club, of which I am a member. John is too, and I'm also a member of their artisan team. Part of what we do is create and make things from all amazing piles of shells that we have in our room at our disposal. And these activities go ahead and support the Carefree Learner program, where we take kids out to Sarasota Bay and teach them about marine ecosystems, ecology, the animals, the wildlife, all kinds of things. Our show is coming up at the Robarts Arena in Sarasota on February 9th and 10th, and we hope to see you out there. Come on down, check us out. Man, Longboat Key! As roughed up as Longboat Key has been for a while, and as tough as some of the shelling has been over there, today was just fantastic. Can you believe that fistful of sand dollars? Dude. And that pile of shells that's over there. Now, just to let you know that, I've got a picture of me sitting on a pile in the exact same place from like 2 years ago. So that little buildup right there is common for January, February, March time frame, depending on how the storms are rolling and how much activity that we're getting out on the Gulf. But Longboat Key, historically for me, has always been a great place to find sand dollars, and that bottom end, really cool place to find some interesting shells. We had a great time out there, lots of room to walk the beach, lots of places to park, and lots of stuff to see. So we hope you enjoyed this little trip to Longboat Key. Stay tuned for the rest of this series in the Fin Finds 5, where we're going to be heading next to Fort Desoto. Thanks so much for joining us on this awesome adventure, and stay tuned because there's lots more incredible shells and incredible finds to come. Thank you so much. Remember, get out there and go shelling.